An absolute cracking encounter. Port Adelaide take on Richmond at Amy Stadium Saturday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. And the odds here, $1.65 you can find for Port Adelaide. Richmond, $2.28, 8.5 points is the margin. Port Adelaide's ins and outs. Renouf omitted, Lobby omitted, Stewart omitted. Gee, he had great form last year. Calhoun, Redden and Moore come in. Parker, let's have a look at the lineup.
Yeah, my understanding of their team and the two Blakes, Renouf and Lobby, have been pretty good. They've taken two out and put one in. Redden is a good player, there's no doubt, a young player. It's one ruckman versus the two, so they're going for a bit more run in this game against Richmond, obviously. It could be, as you suggested, the match of the round, so much hanging on it for both teams. Port to rebuild their little bubble that they had, and the Tigers after 3 losses at least to try and get back on that winning list. Weren't that far away against Northern Hobart. I watched that game, but they've been blitzed early again. Each time they're able to get back, they weren't able to get back in Hobart. But they're building what I think is a very powerful midfield mix. You've talked about Boak, Cassisi, Corns, Wingard. He's a beauty. Love him and the way he plays his game. Gray getting back into some form now, what he had before he was injured. And Wines is adding speed and skill and a bit of grunt to that team. I like them. And their contested possessions led by Boak's gone through the roof. That's where they've improved most.
Ollie Wines, if ever you've seen an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old's body, Dustin Martin's the next one that comes to mind. A similar sort of, I suppose, age beyond his years physically. Amazing player. Good luck to the kid. I love watching him play. All right, let's take a look at the Tigers now, Moons. They are yours after we do the ins and outs. White omitted. Peddard has a calf. Cochin, the knee. That's a big out. Grimes foot. Vickery concussion. Thought he was 50-50 to come up. Tuck, Stevenson, Foley, Batchelor and Haas comes in for the Tigers.
Well, look, they were pretty good for the first half last week, but as soon as Geelong put the foot down, they just couldn't go with them. The big positive for them this year is their scoring from centre clearances. They're second in the competition. Why? Because they've got Marek, Cochin, who's obviously not playing, but they've got Martin, Delidio. Now you can throw Edwards in there, who's having a very good year. Attack's not a real problem for them. The biggest concern, obviously, is their defence. Now, the past 3 weeks they've been outscored 112 points in turnovers, which is the second worst. Why? Because they're obviously not hitting targets when the pressure comes on. That's a big concern. And once the ball does turn over, they're obviously not finding their man quick enough. They're getting outspread, all these kind of things. They're having 117 marks per game against in the last 3 weeks, which just says they're just too easy to play against. And look, we're talking about Port. Port are the second best in the competition for their uncontested possession. Now,
that's why I reckon they've dropped 2 ruckmen.
That up.
That's why I reckon they've taken out 2 ruckmen and not even left in a true second ruckman, because they're worried about Port's run.
Absolutely, though. Because they just can't cover it off at the moment. They're allowing too many marks through the middle. Well, in the back half, they're allowing too many marks. And like I said, Port are just doing that really well at the moment.
Probably not as worried about their second half run as West Coast Eagles are at this point in time. Who are we going for in tips?
I'm going for Port.
I'm with Port too.
I'm with Port.
You know what? Guess what? When you guys talked me through to Carlton... No, who did Carlton play? Yeah, one of the ones you talked me around to. I ended up with 9 wins. This week, we're all the same again. I think we all got 9 wins apiece last week.
I'll tip the Dogs, mate, there.
No, okay.
I think we three got 9 wins. We're headed down the same track again.